Okay, welcome everybody. Today's show is on Revelation chapter 8, and we will be starting the trump. I tell you what, it may sound confusing and things like that, but I can tell you that once you get a good understanding of the symbology, you're going to understand a lot more. And it'll be easier for you to decipher what it is. Now, we went back into the seals. Remember, the seals are the things not necessarily in order of what is coming. Let me check this. Oops. So the seals basically sum everything up. Okay, so you're going to see like things in the trumpets and in the vials. The trumpets and the vials go together. So trumpet 1 goes with vial 1. Trumpet 2 goes with vial 2. And the one thing with the seals is the 6th seal goes with Satan when he comes in, acting as the Antichrist. And the 7th seal goes with Christ when he comes in. So you'll see 6 seal, 6 vial, 6 trumpet. That's Satan's number. Hi, Stacy. I'm so glad to see you today. And then with the 7th, which is Christ's return, we notice we'll read a little bit of the 7th seal before we get into the 8th, but it is setting up for action. Hi, Deb. Nice to see you guys. So when we go in a little bit further, you're going to see what the name of his name and his number. It's 666, and so it is the 6th seal, the 6th trump, and the 6th vial. So that's how easy it is. Hi, Mary. Gosh, I'm glad you got here. I know you were trying. So good. I think I knocked this. So let's get into it. We're going in chapter 8 in verse 1. We'll just go over the first part very briefly, and then we'll start the trumpets. So here we go. And when he opened, this is Yeshua, when he had opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. So it's quiet in there because Satan is kicked out. And now they're coming down here. Well, first, the fallen angels and Satan have already been here. Okay, there's a lot of things, the trumpets going on and the vials and the 2 witnesses. So Christ is coming down to get rid of all that and set things up for the millennium. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense. So we talked about this last time, God has a vial full of all the saints' prayers, and how long is it going to be? Well, action with the trumpets is coming. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar, and cast it into the earth. And there were voices, and thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. I believe that this earthquake is the Pacific Northwest earthquake that we're going to see that kicks things off. The first angel sounded, so it's action. And there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. So this is like the deception coming in, because if you go back to the seals, you don't see any of this, but you know that the symbology in this is Satan's deception coming down upon the earth. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. This is already the deception. The sea, if we go to Revelation chapter 17, the waters, let's get over here. Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. And this is God speaking, saying, "And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are the peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." So the water in Revelation is the people, multitude of people. But there is 1/3 of them. I think, and I'm just putting it out there, I believe this is part of where, over on the other side of the Euphrates, not in Israel, but in Babylon, this is where the Islamic nations begin to fight. And Satan is behind that. He's not here saying he's God yet, but his influence is affecting the people. And as you know, in the seals, there's wars and famines of wars and sorrows and things like that, but the end has not come, or it's coming, but it isn't here yet because the Antichrist isn't here. But he comes in secretly before, and then when the wound to the beast head, which is the whole political system and all that, fall, he heals that wound, and then he quickly builds it up again. Okay. Let's see, verse 9. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. So what I had seen was I was taken above earth, and Yeshua and I were sitting there, and he plucked out this debris and he cast it down into the sea, and it didn't look like a bunch of destruction or anything, but I'm saying that it's the same thing. That's what he was trying to tell me. It's not going to physically happen, but it's going to be spiritually, because at this time it's Satan and his influence. And part of the influence of this is 1/3 of the ships, the commerce, is going to die off. Remember when I told you there's going to be a type of famine? There's two. There's the famine of the end times, which is for the word of God, but that is when Satan gets here de facto. This is before. So it all starts coming together. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of the waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood, which is bitterness. That's what Satan brings in with him. And the third part of the waters became bitter. These are the people. They've they're already influenced by him so much that they're with him. They're on his side. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the light and the night likewise. And I beheld and heard an angel, which should be in the ancient scriptures, it's eagle. It brings it in a little bit better as you'd be able to understand, if you hear going out into the wilderness, then you hear the screech of that. An eagle flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpets, and of the three angels, which are yet to sound. Now, I know a lot of people think that this wormwood is that planet celestial body coming over. But I believe that this is just the prelude to what is coming. He's in the background. Satan is in the background in this. And he is influencing people. And he's talking. He's moving behind the scenes for the peace treaty, for the prosperity. And many people that are dealing with that are caught up in it. If you go over to, oops, I know this sounds all miscombobulated, but it will make sense. Go over to Luke 10:18. Okay, and he, Yeshua, said this unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. So Satan comes in first, behind the scenes. So I believe that this wormwood is actually Satan being cast down. This is him, and this is his influence that he has already gotten people into. Okay. So now we're going to the woe trumpets. And whoa, 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 whoa. That's huge. That means watch out. Okay, this is like Satan coming in. Actually coming in. Okay, so we're going to go to chapter 9 to the 5th, which is the first woe. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star from heaven unto the earth, and him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Remember when I've been telling you about this ash that falls down, that you can only see it with spiritual eyes? That ash is like out of a furnace. So I believe that this is when the fallen angels, this is when everybody is released. And we'll go on further. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. And this is where the fallen angels are released. And unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. So The locust is only an analogy. Okay, we'll just go in this one and I'll go a little bit more into Joel. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not been sealed of God in their foreheads. So we had read yesterday about the sealing. The four winds were waiting to be blown until everyone was sealed. So now everyone is sealed, and so this has commenced. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. So when a scorpion basically gets his whatever, he jabs him, and it kind of numbs it, and then it makes everything jelly, and then with his mouth he just drinks that up. So what they're saying is that spineless, you're going to be, anyone that hasn't the seal is going to be with Satan and not have, not speak up or anything like that. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. So at this time, remember I was telling you about the sow and this ash falling down. It comes before the celestial body comes. It's like about a month or two between, maybe not even that long. It's a very short time. So what I'm saying is, when this ash comes down, it falls down, you'll have to get into your home. You'll have to stay in there for a time until it all clears. But out there with the people, I'm telling you, the people, something really changes with them. And when I looked out the window, it was dark, very dark. And it looked like smoke. I mean, we had smoke here. It kind of reminded me of it. But this, when I looked out there, I saw things out there. It didn't look human. But I think that it was all symbology of what this is, what I'm reading. So, I do believe that we'll have to stay in. Yeah, Deb, it's a spiritual ash. You won't be able to see it with your physical eyes. You just pray that your spiritual eyes are open so that you'll be able to see it, because when that earthquake hits, that's when it really begins to fall. That's like, it goes into 4 stages, like the locust army in Joel. So people are going to get, the good people are going to get better, the bad people worse. And it's a spiritual thing that it really affects you. And with these people that were very affected, who were out in the blizzard with it, just, they were pounding on the house. They were trying to get in, but they couldn't get in. But they're crazy. I don't know what else to say, but if they're being tortured by this, maybe it's more like feeling like you're in hell. You've had like your worst day ever and a total panic attack. I don't know, but it is bad. It affects these people very bad. And, we were in the house, and then Yeshua said, well, you can go out there only if you need something. Just do it quick and then come back in. And take your clothes off, go take a shower again, wash everything, even your eyes. That the washing the eyes, I believe, is a spiritual thing as well. It's just when the earthquake goes off, all I can tell you is everything is going to change. It will never look the same like it does now. The commerce, like I was telling you, you're not, even if a store is open, you won't be able to get anything. It'll be so expensive. So this is like the coming up to when Satan does get here. So when you see these things start happening, and you see people getting worse and worse, that's when you know that this ash is about to fall. But it's also getting very close. It's very close to the celestial body, but you'll also see the Pope in there. It's kind of the New World Order, and he will be the religious leader. And then when it crashes, Satan takes that over. It is the Pope brings it in, joining all the religions together. In a weird way, it's more like the Christian churches. They're targeting the Christian churches because they're, like the other religions, Satan basically already has them. He's not worried about them. He's worried about you as a Christian and not worshiping him. Okay, this describes what they look like, but I'll tell you the symbology behind it. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold. So they're going to be an army, and Joel goes really, really well in with this, but they're going to look the part, majestic. They're going to fool you with the way they look. Okay, whereas it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the face of men. They are men. They're the fallen angels coming down here. So this, when planet X crosses, that is the 6 seal, 6 trump, 6 vial. And Satan comes in very quickly after that. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. This is all spiritual. A lion just tears and shreds. And they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron. So in the millennium, the Zadok are going to have the breastplates with all the stones, the 12 stones of the 12 tribes. They have breastplates made of iron, but they don't have the stones on them. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots, of many horses running to battle. So, I know a lot of people think about, what about these UFOs? Will they be coming in with something like that? I didn't see anything like that, but the deception is going to be very, very thick. It's going to be hard to see it, especially at this point, because it's just, nothing is going to be the same. And it's just going to be crazy. But also the Pope himself, I mean, it's going to be somewhat normal, but it's just hard to explain, guys. I wish I knew how to explain it a little bit better. This is more of a spiritual type of war than a physical. These fallen angels aren't here to be all nice and everything, which they well be, but underneath, they're trying to kill you. You see, it's like when someone smiles, but that evil grin. It is not too good. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their powers was to hurt men 5 months. So that's where it's like we're told that the time has been shortened. And right here it says the 5 months. So the time of this whole thing starting is 5 months. Christ, or Satan, gets the 2.5 months, and before then is the setting up. Right now we're in the time of sorrow, so it kind of, we're going to see the escalation of things happening, but then when the trumpets start going off, that's when you'll know. And we'll go over this more. I know how confusing it is, and how this symbology in it itself is just, I know. I've been dealing with it. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. That's Satan. He's over that. So you're given both these names so that you can't miss it, so you know who is coming and who's over this ilk with the fallen angels. So one woe is past, and behold, there comes 2 woes more out hereafter. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpets, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great Euphrates river. So this is when Satan himself claims to be God. And remember, I told you, all that fighting was going on over on the other side of the Euphrates with the Islamic and the Babylon area. And he was in the background in that building. And then the deadly wound happened, and he came in and fixed it. So this is all transpiring all around that. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men. This is this spiritual. Hi, Daniel. This is this spiritual death, and this is the deception behind it. And they're going to go out within the crowds. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. It's all talking about the deception. They are going into war, but this is Christ. This is God's army. And we're going to go over, let's see. over into Joel, because it talks a lot. It explains it a little bit better. Okay. I think Revelation it is a hard book. But once you get the symbology and you can understand where to get the other information to kind of bring things together. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what was that? Joel 2, verse 23. See, be glad, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God. For he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. Okay, this is talking about, remember I was telling you about the latter rain, and everybody getting sealed and getting ready, especially one of the very elect. He's going to, like for instance, I've been studying for 10 years, but if you just first started, he's going to bring that learning and understanding down upon you, so you're going to be ready. You'll learn faster. You'll get it a lot easier. Got a message. Okay. And the floors shall be full of wheat, and the fat shall overflow with the wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten. So this is talking about the Antichrist when he comes in the locust army, stripping everything from us, the commerce and, everything that we worked for, taken, but he's going to bring it back. The cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm. These are the 4 stages that these come in. And it's just the analogy of what their stages are. The first 3 stages are men. The locust army is men. The 4th stage is actually the fallen angels. So, all right. The caterpillar and the palmer worm, my great army, which I sent among you. Get that? So this is all a test. God is seeing how well you listen and, if you're going to get through this. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, that hath dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. And you won't be ashamed, because you're going to get through this. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. So this is when Christ returns, and he brings everybody back into Israel, into the 12 tribes. Everybody will be set up in their own tribe. Now, this next one is, I kind of talked about it a little bit, but on 28, this is talking about now. And it shall come to pass after the locust army, or that when you're delivered up, this is what it's talking about. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit. This is the Holy Spirit. My spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the housemaids or handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. So this is when you are being delivered up to the Antichrist, or you may be delivered up to a synagogue somewhere in your area where you get delivered up. I saw a lot of people standing in line being delivered up to Satan himself. So I think the majority of the people are sent to Jerusalem. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord. And it shall come to pass that whoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. You're the remnant. If you are really trying to study and you're trying to get this, you're going to get the latter day rain. It's going to come in the season and the way that you can digest it. Let's see. All right. Let's see. So this, sorry, so it's been given believers don't start until most the end. Yeah. But as soon as after that earthquake, you'll be given more and more. And then when you're delivered up, that's the biggest one, which is basically the Holy Spirit speaking through you. So as you learn and grow and become familiar with your own spiritual gifts, they'll just grow. And you could have different kinds of spiritual gifts. But this is the time, I guess, that we're learning about it. And the latter day rain is coming down, and it will go all the way until the sixth trump, and then that is the end of all learning. There, I don't know if you have ever read Joel. It's a short chapter. It's short. There's like only 3 chapters, but it is intense. If you want to know about this locust army, read Joel. Where did that go? Okay, this is First Joel. This is I was trying to tell you about it. It comes in phases with the locust army. So the first 3 are men. The 4th is the fallen angels. The word of, okay, verse 1. The word of the Lord that came to Joel, the son of Pethiel. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all ye inhabitants of the land. Hath this been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers? Tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. This is for the end times. Carry this on until the end. That which the palmer worm hath left, hath the locust eaten. And that which the locust hath left, hath the canker worm eaten. And that which the canker worm hath left, the caterpillar has eaten. Awaken, ye drunkards, and weep and howl, all ye drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. So as this deception comes in, and as sorry, my throat. as this deception has come in, and as this locust being Arabia, this is the Arabians coming from that area. So, we see this in our government. We're seeing, being threatened with the Sharia law, and them it's like taking more and more and more from the Christian nations. And this is what it's talking about. But as we get further into this, you're going to understand that as we go on, so many things are going to change, and that's why the palmer worm has eaten it, goes with the canker worm and so forth. And we'll go really deep into this. This is kind of an introduction to the locust army. And I'll just reread verse 5. Awaken, ye drunkards, and weep and howl, all ye drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. That is hearing the word of God. Okay, the new wine. For a nation is come upon my land. So my land, so this would be Israel. Strong and without number, whose teeth are the teeth of lion, and he hath the teeth of a great lion. So we read that in Revelation as their description, but they're just men. He hath laid my vine waste and barked my fig tree. Parable of the fig tree. He hath made it clean, bare, and cast it away. The branches thereof made white, laminate like a virgin girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. The meat offering and the drink offering is cut off from the house of the Lord. The priests, the Lord's ministers, mourn. So this new type of religion coming from the Pope, and the truth, when Satan gets here, will be completely cut off. The field is wasted, the land mourneth, for the corn is wasted. The new wine is dried up, the oil languisheth. You're going to have, you'll have your own tribulation during this. Everybody will. But as far as like a personal tribulation, you'll have that up to 10-day tribulation where you'll be delivered up. Be ye ashamed, O you husbandmen, howl, O you vine dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. The vine is dried up, and the fig tree languisheth, the pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, the apple tree, even all the trees of the field are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of men. So he's just saying, all the good things, the gifts and things that God brings with him, this is completely the opposite. And it's all a spiritual thing. Gird yourselves and laminate, you priests, howl, ye ministers of the altar. Come, lie all night in sackcloth, ye ministers of my God, for the meat offering and the drink offering is withholden from the house of your God. That is when Satan comes here. It's going to be totally taken away. And like in Daniel, in chapter 11, the abomination, that is Satan himself sitting where he ought not be. That's him. Sanctify ye, fast call a solemn assembly. Gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. Alas, for the day of the Lord is at hand. So you get it? And as a destruction from the Almighty shall come. So when you see the abomination, Satan sitting where he ought not to be, I know I'm going to feel completely disgusted by the whole thing, but the whole world is going to worship him and go after him. So when you see that, you want to get out of Jerusalem. Be delivered up, but get out, because Christ is returning. It's close at hand. Is not the meat cut off before your eyes? Yea, joy and gladness from the house of our God. The seed is rotten under their clods. The gardeners are laid desolate. The barns are broken down, for the corn is withered. How do the beasts groan? The herbs of the cattle are perplexed, because they have no pasture. Or the herd, sorry. Yea, the flocks of the sheep are made desolate. So the sheep is, the flock. It's how Christ, compares us to him, as we being the sheep and him the shepherd. It is the wrong shepherd. You go in the wrong direction. And it isn't by food, it is spiritually. Be completely desolate. There will be no truth. O Lord, to thee will I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame hath burned all the trees of the field. So this is when they come in. They have smoke, hell, and fire with them. They'll build the New World Order up very fast, and everybody that listens will be in there with it, and that's the distraction that they bring. It isn't the teaching of truth, it's all deception. So it's like the land is laid barren, but it's a spiritual barren within your own spirit. The beasts of the field cry also unto thee, for the rivers of water are dried up. The fire hath devoured the pasture of the wilderness. Verse 2. So now we're going to get into the locust army. This was just kind of a summing up of what is going to happen. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, Zion. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So what I was saying, when you see the abomination standing where it not be, Christ is going to return soon. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There hath not ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even in the years of many generations. So this is the army that he's sending in, the fallen angels, to do his work. He used like Nebuchadnezzar. He was a type of Antichrist, but he used that. So he's using this locust army on his people to test you. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape. So we're all going into captivity. That is a given. When we have to flee as far before the Planet X crossing or the celestial crossing, we'll have to get out of the way, but they're going to set up very quickly. The wound to the beast's head will be healed, and then we'll be coming back. And we'll be back into captivity. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots, On the tops of the mountains shall they leap like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle. So they're coming here in battle format. They are ready for this deception, and they will play very hard to get your attention, to spread this deception. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. So they're very orderly. They know what they're doing. So, it's no wonder that so many people are going to be fooled. But as we read in Smyrna and Philadelphia, that door that Christ opens that no man can shut it. That's the truth. So no matter what you hear, no matter what you see, you're going to know the truth and know exactly what's going on, so you can walk through that door and get through all this. So just know that when you hear the truth, that sealing, that knowledge, those 7 seals, that information is going to be held in your head. And there's nothing that Satan can do. As a matter of fact, Satan and those demons, you have power over them. Okay? Neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. It's because they're supernatural beings. They're fallen angels. They shall run to and fro in the cities. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide? So, you can abide. You will get through it. But this deception is just going to get worse. It's been like the angels, the fallen angels that I saw looked a lot like what we would wear in the millennium, the white gowns and everything. They look like men, like normal men, but they have a certain countenance about them. They're kind of meek, but behind that, and also with like Satan, when you hear him speak, he'll be really nice and charming and stuff, but the thing is you will be able to tell underneath is just like this anger and hatred, especially at the Christians, but it's this fakey fake, and you'll be able to see, and the rest of the people won't be able to. So they will look like men. They look like priests, like what you would see in the millennium, but just like that, they have that breastplate, but it doesn't have the 12 stones that the Zadok will wear during the millennium. The 12 stones of the 12 tribes of Israel. So I'm telling you guys, they're gonna look a lot alike, but yeah, Satan will be locked up. Well, I saw him several places. I don't know. Are you talking about when I went up to paradise and saw him chained up, or during the millennium when he's locked up. I saw him both times, but the first image that I saw him up in paradise when I was taken up there, he was the dragon. And then he was this man wearing all this weird stuff. And then, like Daniel the prophet had described him, taught when he's gathering the nations together and everything, he looks like a vile, shadowy man speaking these great things, but you'll be able to hear his words, but it's like enchanting. I was told, don't even listen to it. Don't, because it's like a spiritual binding. Chained up, yeah, chained up in paradise. He was chained up. Now in the millennium, he is sealed. He has a seal around him, and he's like in bars where people can see him. And go, is that the man who made the earth to tremble? And there he is, a sad, sad person. Rivers turn red spiritually. Yeah. You cannot believe anything when, as we get closer and closer to that, your discernment, that's one of the spiritual gifts, your spiritual discerning. You'll be like, you'll be able to see the good and the bad. You'll be able to identify, especially like these fallen angels. And with us, I don't know if we're going to have a different type of countenance, being the 7,000, but they're going to know that we're not worshiping. Let's see. Trump said they are in the 4th phase of vaccine trials. Yeah. I don't want to take it. I really don't. I think it's that part of the oppression, this new world order setting up, and Trump not even knowing it is part of it. They are vampires. I'm just telling you guys, you got to be on your game. He said that yesterday. 4th. How many stages are there? Is there 4 stages? So this is the last? Yeah, I don't know what to do. I didn't see any type of vaccine thing. So this is just all part of the oppression that is laid over us, that is going to get thicker and more horrible. Wow. Final stage. Takes so long. It's supposed to take like years to get a vaccine. That's weird. I don't know. I don't want to take it. I'll probably, be punished, not be able to go in town or something like that. But yeah. Okay, guys, that was pretty intense. So tomorrow we will start back up on Revelation chapter 9 and go through the rest. Operation Warp Speed, I guess so. I mean, how can it be safe? I don't want to take it. That stuff can really mess you up, and I don't know. I mean, there's like these other vaccines, when they are, I don't know. It's going to change your DNA. Yeah, that's what it does too. That's what the virus changes your DNA, hooks up on it. I don't get the flu shot either. I don't know. I stay completely away from that. And that's one thing about being in Babylon and Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel, like us, were born in in Babylon. This is the whole world is Babylon now. And, you know, you got all the teachings and all the public school stuff and everything like that. So as you further get out of Babylon, you're gonna notice the divide, like the good and the bad. Those who take the vaccine and those who don't. You know, that kind of thing. But also the teaching. You'll notice that, you know, these big time preachers and stuff gonna say, oh, hellfire is coming. One lady that took the test said she can't. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, I'm not gonna take it. But I'll tell you, nothing can hurt you. God will protect you, and if He's telling you don't take it, don't take it. I know for my own self, I will not take it. That's right, mind for knowledge. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. So, you know, and I'm sure, you know, as we get closer and stuff to this, that you'll start having visions, dreams, you'll get this insight, and it'll be really interesting as we get closer, you know. Let's see. Let's see, yeah, do what Jesus tells you for sure. Yeah, pray on everything. Even before you read the Bible, pray. Ask for knowledge and understanding and just, you know, keep going over it. I know, like, some things I just have to put aside and just say, I don't understand this right now, and go on, and then come back. Yep. Like in Ephesians, putting the full armor of God, so nothing can harm you. And He will be with you, and you will have an angel watching over you and making sure that you're going to be okay. God Himself, you know, you don't want to poke the apple of God's eye. I mean, He will come back and slap you upside the head. And that's how He looks at us. You know, don't mess with Him. So, wow, guys, that went over a half hour. I just really got into it. I hope you enjoyed it. Pray on it. And He will tell you. He will. You know, you'll just get more insights. And as you learn more, it's just going to expound upon your knowledge, and pretty soon you'll go, wow, okay, I get it. You know, for the most, you know, I mean, you can get really super deep into the Bible and just go deeper and deeper and deeper. You're welcome, Stacy. But yeah, I better get off here. But hey, see you tomorrow at 4 again, and we will continue with this. So be ready if you want to read the rest of chapter 9. I don't know how far we'll get, because that even gets deeper. Let's see. Hey, Kim. Oh, wow. I'm so glad you caught it. Yeah, I changed the time. Maybe more people can come in. My sister met Adoni in a dream. Wow. Adonai. That's Adonai. Yeah. I mean, He does come to you. You know, and the more knowledge and the more that you want to have a relationship with God, the more gifts and things that He's going to give you. So studying every day like this and really mulling over it is going to be, wow. So she saw both Yahweh and, was it the Holy Spirit or was it Yeshua Himself? Because the Holy Spirit does, you know, He does come to you. He's with you and will show you things. Hey, hey. I think my dog has to go out. Is he? Wow. So both in two different dreams. You'll have to tell us what those dreams were about tomorrow. I need to get off here because my dog is about going crazy. But I really do enjoy these talks and stuff. I'm starting to feel more comfortable and stuff and getting to know you guys. So, see you tomorrow. Be prepared.